ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for spending your time today evening. Thanks to the all esteemed panelists out here. Honestly, I'm a bit nervous, right? Of all the abbreviations that the lady put out, I had last heard of those abbreviations probably when I was doing my college. So I'm the most unqualified of the lot sitting out here, right? So great. So agenda today probably, and I told this last time, I don't know how many of you were there last year, right? We had a similar BIT Innovation Tour last year also in VMware, and that's one of our commitments that we're putting forward for Northeast states like Guwahati and the associate 7 sister states, and specifically for the education sector out here, right? That's the part of our investment that we are now putting out. And we promise that, we'll continue investing in terms of bringing how digital technology and innovation and transformation is bringing about business innovation, right? And today what we have is a very humble representation of all the flag bearers amongst you, right? And we'll try to see what next can we do in terms of achieving the best for the community, for the students, right? And overall education as a sector. So let's start with you, right? Why don't you give us a kind of a 50,000 feet of where is this entire digital transformation is now going in education sector, and you probably would be getting your hands dirty with NITs, IITs, IIMs, so on and so forth, right? A government perspective to do it, and how we as consumers, to these technology can look forward to.
Good evening to all of you. Now you see that present education system, that there are around 23 IITs, 31 NITs, around 16 IIMs, 23 triple IITs, 47 central universities, then 370 state universities, 270 state private universities, 139 deemed university, and there are about 39,400 colleges, and total enrollment is around 3.2 crores in India. So this is the Indian scenario as it point. Now, you know that 60% of our population is below 35 years of age. So demographic dividend, you all say, but this could be a demographic disaster also if we do not, or if you cannot handle the issue immediately. Now is the era for fourth generation revolution, industrial revolution. In this era, the only power is the talent. This knowledge is the power now. In this context, we being the teachers, we have to play a very vital role. But with the expansion of so many colleges, the issues are many. One of the major issues is that acute shortage of quality teachers. Acute shortage of quality teachers. So for technical education are concerned, most of our graduates are unemployed or underemployed. If this is the scenario, then we have to work together that yes, we have to make our students employable. And in that context, how to resolve the issue of shortage of faculty? You know that, yes, virtual classrooms, through MOOCs, through NPTEL, so this can be addressed. But again, the issue is that can technical education can be given through virtual only? No, it's a big no. So this to me, it will be something like that. Yes, some portions of our education can be through your virtual education. For NIT system, we take it around that for that matter, AICTE has also given the mandate is that around 20% of your coursework can be through your MOOCs. If this is so, then how to handle all these things, whether you are properly equipped or not, this part we have to take care, and we all should come forward to see that shortage of teachers, quality of teachers, this can be handled through our MOOCs and other issues. So this is one issue where there is no issue regarding the equity or expansion. Now is the only issue is that quality, quality and quality. in order to have the quality, I would like to say that yes, we have to work together, we have to embrace the new technologies, we have to go for this artificial intelligence, IoT, then 3D printers and other so many issues are there. And nowadays, for all young teachers are coming up with high aspiration with them, and I'm very hopeful, especially for Northeast also, that our teachers are doing a great job, and our students are also coming up with, and I'm sure that together we'll make India a better one.
Fantastic. Thanks for your inputs and insights, Professor Gupta. Obviously, if I were to relate it to the topic that we are doing today and what I'm representing as an organization, that how VMware from its technologies today is ensuring an empowering education sector all put together. Right? It could be as simple a use case wherein you have to allow a student from wherever he is in his entire university, be it at his dorm, be it as his, sitting in a library, at his restroom, whatever, right? He can basically access all information, all his labs, all his content, right, from the device of his choice, whatever he's carrying at his level, right? Can we, as universities, as respective, institutions, provide this kind of an infrastructure, right? And I personally feel, what I have experienced little, right, from the likes and the peers of yours, is that if you are able to do so, right, it also becomes a mechanism for students to attract and come and work, right? As Professor said, right, that students are not willing to come to the class, right? It's why do you think they are not? Right? One is obviously the social side of it, right? If are we able to give them what they're experiencing out of the institutions, I mean their commercials, their normal social space, can I as a university offer a student an experience, freedom, a choice, what a Facebook today can, or what a Google today can, or what an App Store today can? Imagine that. If I can bring that level of simplicity and the respective control and security and policy blended in the form of a technology, I think, and what we have seen is that also serves as a byproduct to ensure all these factors are also taken care of. Students are actually lured to come and, because they are the most technology geeky guys, right? They want to access, have their hands dirty on everything which is new and available on the net, right? Fantastic. So let's move on, right? Let's start with you, sir. Right. So let's talk about, you heard from Professor Gupta. We all knew what the typical trends that are coming in the education sector. What do you think in your respective university institutions are probably the top 2 initiatives that you are taking, which you think is contribution towards this cause?
Good evening. Thank you. So I am actually from that private university, Royal Global University. So initially it is Royal School of Engineering and Technology, and last year we come up as a university. So as a private university, we have also challenges. So the main thing is that the students who are very good, very brilliant, they always go for the IIT and the NIT, or maybe the government sector. For the other students, they will come to the private. But although we are a private, the students, they have a aim, or the parents of the particular student, they have a aim, that same kind of environment in terms of maybe technology, they should get. Okay. So that's why we also plan to do some kind of things in terms of technology. Just like in last month, we have done a MOU with Cyber Peace Foundation for the cyber security analysis. So we want to actually have a cyber security lab in our university, so that the students from our college or maybe in our northeastern region, they can participate and they can work together. So that's it actually.
If the institution is looking to enter into a cybersecurity lab, right, now they would require infrastructure, right? They would require a mechanism where all this can be available to the students, where they can experience this hands-on, right? Now that is where technologies like VMware can help and provide you all that upfront, right? That's. I'm just trying to accumulate all the use cases, right? What we typically see. For example, we were talking about. You must have heard of a university down upcountry, right? what they do is they have respective placements, that comes, the OEMs that come, Wipros of the world, and so and so of the Infosys of the world. And what they have is they have to ensure online examination for their respective placements, right? Now, if there, let's say, 10 OEMs or 20 OEMs coming within a span of 2 months or 1 month, whatever the window is, imagine the work and IT admin and the staff has to do in terms of preparing those labs, those environment, multiple codings, blah blah blah, and changing it so often. How can VMware, we helped in terms of doing that was probably giving them a virtualization solution in terms of a desktop virtualization, where all these environments could be spinned up in a matter of minutes and not days, right? Thus, what was the business value to them? That university can now cater probably twice more OEMs at the same point in time that they were able to do. See the impact? The students now feel more attracted in terms of getting into it because they know that university can today cater twice the more kind of OEM for their placement in the respective apprenticeship. So technology is driving innovation from a business standpoint, from a digital innovation and experience standpoint. Fantastic. Great. Let's come to you, sir. I know you are the astronaut for us, right? You are the satellite imagery guy, right? So please share your experiences with us.
First of all, I will just say that because I am coming from the Kokrajhar region actually, in that institute. So I have just seen that the students, basically they are coming from that particular, not from the already developed kind of city actually. So I have seen that they are starving for the resources. So in that kind of case, this virtual realization is very good if we can provide that some kind of hardware or software, like the virtual labs. It's already being trying to demonstrated by the IITs, few IITs in all over the India. So they can use those kind of labs, virtual labs. So it will solve the problem of the resources hardware actually. So in the some of the cases, even students, they are starving. In some of the cases, our resources, they are also starving for the users, because some of the places we have the servers, we have the GPUs also, but they are not properly utilizing. So we need some kind of, like in the case of this VMware, because they have the some kind of project oriented, or we can say product oriented kind of work. So there will be collaboration with the institution, with this kind of industry, then definitely our resources will be utilized in a better way. So we can go for some kind of product, because students, they are coming, they want to develop something. If they are coming from the second year, they want to learn something. If we will just go in a, like sir has mentioned already, if we are going for a class only for the simple kind of lectures, theoretical, then they will see from anywhere. In all the institutions, we are doing some kind of theoretical research. It is not going up to that level. Like in the outside, first they will go for the publish or patent or publish any kind of thing. They will go for a patent actually. So they will make some collaboration with the industry. We will develop, and you will be the person who will make a just can say to reach this kind of product to each and every person. So that's the reason in the outside of the India, or even we have also started that kind of thing, like the I've just seen in the IIT Guwahati innovation cell has been developed in the IIT Roorkee and the few institutions. So in this case, if they will make a collaboration with the industry, then this virtual realization will be there. So and this cloud computing, if they will connect with the institution, then definitely we will not go for the like as a starving condition for the resources for the students actually. Thank you.
About industry partnership, right? So I don't know how many of you would have kind of heard about it, but VMware also collaborates with all major universities, handpicked, right, in terms of putting a COE, a Center for Excellence, lab in their respective premises. We are doing this for a few IITs across the country. We're doing it for top universities across the country. And that is one area where students get, as he rightly mentioned, theory versus practical, right? A student actually gets to know what exactly is the technology all about. He gets a first-hand, making the hands dirty kind of a feeling with that, right? That's what we have been collaborating upon. That's one initiative that we're taking with the respective universities, and that also calls for certain kind of certifications, right? Because that's a lot of value today. right? Especially for students who are coming out, for the matter professors or the respective teachers also, right? It's a lot of academic value the moment you put a certification on your resume or on the table or that. So we do kind of invest into that kind of programs as well. And that is where I think probably could be a potential answer to probably what you're looking out for. Fantastic. Sure. Sure, sir. Coming to you.
We have a systems team that comprises of about 4 members, and all of them are extremely busy with their different administrative work, right from issue of identity card to tasks that are associated with admissions and various other maintenance and network maintenance and all those. So we thought that the database is given to someone, the maintenance part, let it be taken care of by the experts, and so that we can focus on our primary responsibility, which is of imparting education, so and the things that are related with it. So that is one aspect, and the other fact is that in 2015 we are with the initiative of our Vice Chancellor. What we did was we tried to analyze the data that we have, because admission data is useful only at the time of admission, marks whenever it is required of the students. But can we relate both these two databases? It was initially very difficult for us because both the databases are taken care of by different third-party agencies. And the best thing that we were lucky that at least the enrollment number, at the time of admission only, we give the enrollment number to the students, and we had the enrollment number in that database as well as in the marks database. So what we tried to do was integrate both these two databases together, merge them, and we tried to analyze them. And what we found was that the background, social background of the student, and how it affects the performance of the student when they later on appear for examination. And when we analyzed the data, we found some very interesting facts. We found some very interesting facts that were related to the social background of the students. Like for instance, the students from Guwahati area and district headquarters, they fare well compared to students from villages when it comes to examination. Students from villages and students whose parents are from farming background, they mostly like to take humanities as their subject. And these are just 2 examples. There are many other facts that was discovered. And our work actually, some of the findings were published in Economic and Political Weekly as well in the year 2016 in a paper, research paper. So what we realized after that, and what we proposed at that time, was that we have a lot of information in our education system itself, and that needs to be analyzed. It lies in the form of a database. It lies somewhere we don't analyze actually, and based on these analysis we can take a lot of policy decisions and administrative decisions in the university at the different top level organizations, strategic level organizations. So that is what we realized at that time. So that is one initiative that we have taken, and I feel that these kind of initiatives and many other colleges and institutions actually can utilize these databases. We should try to understand the importance of the data that is there in front with us. Only thing is that all these databases have to talk with each other, and the data that is there one should be able to feed in the data wherever they are, whenever they want to, and wherever they want to feed in the data from, and at the same time we should be able to access the data in whatever form we want to and in whatever moment. So that is what that is another case study that I wanted to put forward in today's forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks. That's such an interesting use case, right? In terms of having your databases put together and trying to make some sense out of the data, right? I'm sure every organization, university would have some kind of metadata in some way or the form. But how many actually comes up? And that's what this artificial intelligence and all about data mining and these things is all about. It strikes me, right? I don't know how many you know or not. We have a customer of VMware in Pune. Okay, Maharashtra side, right? Now, it's called Chitle Dairy. You can Google it out. Chitle Dairy, it's a dairy farming company, right? You know what? They have a unique proposition. So they touch base with the farmers of the entire Pune rural area, and they put a chip on all the cows and the respective bulls, right? I'm just putting from the data thing that you're saying. And what they do is, they have VMware technology to the core of it, where we do I don't know how many of you know, VMware also does IoT. We have a solution, a product for IoT, lesser known fact, right? Along with the virtualization technology and the VDI technology and so on and so forth, MDM and stuff like that, right? And what they do is they sell that data to a farmer that bull X with so and whatever ABC, your DNA samples or your reports, if mated with cow Y, is likely to give you a probability of 30% more yield that you would simply do. And it is all done on VMware Cloud and VMware technologies. In fact, we have a US published case study which says cows on the cloud. Right? And that's what they do. So, exactly. So the use cases can be as weird as that as well. It's a matter of how do you kind of put them in context. So coming back to our last panelist, right? So Dr. we have heard from everybody, right? From satellite images to where the country is going, to where the initiatives we are taking, right? Interesting, we have not yet touched upon a simple thing which is lying in every university, desktop, right? How do you think, how you deal with a desktop that would typically come every 4 to 5 years? You still invest of having one more desktop for next 5 years with the pain of refreshing, rebuilding, patching, blah, blah, blah. You still pay for the business as usual, keeping the lights on, without no technology innovation whatsoever to the faculty, to the money that you spend, and the students for that matter. Any views on that?
Good evening to everybody, ladies and gentlemen. This is something which, like, I would like to say as a blind spot. See, we are gathered here, I mean, from every possible universities has been represented in the Northeast. And as Professor Gupta said that we here are at a very peculiar place. We are far off, and I mean, money, I mean, utilization of, it's not a problem that we are far off, but utilization of money has to be, I mean, adjusted. Because we are far off, everything is costly. At least I can say for my institute, because we are building up our campus in Cherrapunji. It's a far off place. So whatever costs X amount in Guwahati probably costs 10x there. Just the electrical supply, the last time I was there in a meeting, I heard would cost us around 8 crores just to transmit set the electrical lines. So anyway, one pertinent problem that I have been facing, and I think everybody faces it, but Mr. Gupta, so he pointed out, everybody faces this, and I, as a faculty in charge of computer center, the most painful experience we have is that although we are far off, every student wants variety in terms of the environment they use, the OS they want, the requirement of computational requirement. Somebody wants a custom built networking facility where the bandwidth can be adjusted, and everything comes to my head, on my head, and then I mean, everybody is fixed to the dabba. The dabba is the desktop dabba, and it's like everybody is wanting for a magic wand, something I'll do and I'll solve the problem at the go. So this is being done from the at least past 2 decades. I think there has been papers on, I mean, the academic community is here, so we have been, at least I was involved in doing research on distributed computing and how it is different from grid computing, how we can have academic grids, to finally a cloud sort of a solution. But still this blind spot still remains. Whenever as a faculty in charge, I get all the requisitions from every department. The accountant gives the requisition that she has to run tally X.Y version, and for that I have to find out the specs of the latest desktops. So this is something as a, I mean, an innovation can do. I mean, we all know about it. It can be done. It's not a big deal. And then people cry about security. I mean, everybody thinks if you put everything to the cloud, then secure. And this is, at least for businesses, it may be a valid excuse, but not for us. What I personally feel, it's like most of our users are students. they have the requirements. So even BTech projects have become very fancy. They need a very custom built, setup, customized setups are required for certain experiments, and so everything can be provided. I mean, if you are able to like come out of that idea of every student has to be provided with a dabba, and it's not that it is new. It was done. I still remember in the late 90s when I was as a BTech student, we actually had a Unix server with all thin clients. I mean, no processing there, just a keyboard and an input terminal, keyboard and a monitor in front, and everything was being done in the server. So with all these technologies, if you can't have a solution, like as he told Mr. Verma, that things become obsolete. There's a great problem of obsolescence. Every 3-4 years, the desktop configurations changes. I mean, the requirements changes. The softwares become more and more infrastructure hungry, and then those things are not, they don't run anymore. So if we can come up with solutions as a group, not as like my problem, I am looking for a solution like touch button. I'll touch a button and everybody's requirements are met. We have a custom built data center, and in Northeast that is a big problem. Again, if I have to have actual infrastructures for all the students, I have only 2 people to manage my entire IT infrastructure, 2 staff for the computer center. And think about it. Around 1200 students, 70 faculty members, another roughly 100 staff, and we don't have a campus, so we have 10 hostels across the city. So this is a very pertinent problem where technology innovations can do a lot of good for us in NIT Meghalaya very specifically, and I think the same thing exists with most of us. Thank you.
Great. I'll request my team members to look out and catch Sir, because this is one of the unique problems that VMware is class apart and has been able to achieve with all so-called your peers across the country. That's good. Great. It reminds me of another use case. There is, have you heard of Ministry of Education? That's in Malaysia. It's basically, so to say, the government schools in Malaysia, right? There's a published schedule. You can actually go ahead and Google it out of Ministry of Education plus VMware. Now, why I'm telling you this is the entire education board, which is government schools across Malaysia, which is roughly around 1465 districts, and roughly that translated to 25,000 government schools. I'm talking about the country, my dear friends. I'm not talking about a state, a city, or a university. They are all running on VMware desktop virtualization VDI. And I'm talking about as remote as Sir just mentioned, from a Cherrapunji to whatever. Google it out, it's a published case study publicly available. Right? That's what the prowess of the technology can be. That's the point I'm trying to put forward, right? So no reason why we can't achieve it here when we have the same thing probably being done it here. Thank you. I think it has been a great conversation. I think we got a varied input from all the varied panelists, right?